In the legendary words of the late great prodigy of the iconic hip hop duo Mobb Deep, there's a war going on outside no man is safe from. The rapid advancement of artificial intelligence is proving just that. The collection of your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is being packaged and sold back to you in the forms of large language models and agents, all without your well informed consent. What does that even mean? Here, I'll explain. Some of you may be wondering, what is an LLM? How does user data help it learn? Imagine you're talking to someone who has read billions of books, articles, websites, research papers, and conversations. They don't memorize everything word for word, but instead learn patterns in language, how ideas connect, how people communicate, and how to generate useful responses. That's essentially what a large language model or LLM is. An LLM is a type of artificial intelligence trained on enormous amounts of text. During training, it analyzes billions or even trillions of words to learn grammar, reasoning patterns, facts, writing styles, and relationships between concepts. It doesn't think like a human or store information the way a database does. Instead, it builds an incredibly complex mathematical model that predicts the most likely next word, sentence, or idea based on what you've asked. Think of it like learning to play piano. A pianist doesn't memorize every possible song they'll ever play. Instead, they learn scales, chords, rhythm, and musical patterns. Later, they can play new music they've never seen before because they understand those patterns. An LLM works in a similar way with language. Where does the knowledge come from? Initially, an LLM is trained using large collections of publicly available and licensed data, along with other data sources permitted by the organization building the model. During this training process, the model doesn't simply copy documents. Instead, it learns statistical relationships within language. Once training is complete, the model's knowledge is essentially baked into its neural network. It cannot browse the internet or automatically learn new information unless it has been specifically connected to external tools or updated through additional training. Does talking to an AI teach it? This is where many people get confused. When you have a conversation with an LLM, it does not automatically become smarter from that conversation. The model you're talking to does not instantly absorb your information into its permanent knowledge. It simply uses the context of the current conversation to generate responses. However, depending on the AI service and your privacy settings, conversation data may be reviewed or used by the company to improve future versions of its models. When that happens, engineers don't simply dump conversations into the AI. Instead, they may use selected conversations to evaluate performance, create better training examples, identify mistakes, improve safety systems, or fine tune future models. Many AI providers also allow users to opt out of having their conversations used for model improvement. Why is user data valuable? User interactions reveal something no textbook can: how real people actually ask questions. Millions of conversations help developers discover questions the model struggles to answer, areas where the model hallucinates or invents information, better ways to explain difficult concepts, common reasoning mistakes, new terminology, and emerging topics, how people naturally communicate around the world. Rather than teaching the AI one fact at a time, this information helps developers build better future versions of the model. The difference between memory and training, these are often confused. Conversation context. The AI remembers information only during your current conversation so it can respond coherently. Personal memory. Some AI assistants let users explicitly save preferences, such as your preferred name or favorite coding language, to personalize future conversations. This is separate from training the underlying model. Model training. Training creates an entirely new version of the AI using enormous data sets and extensive computing resources. Individual conversations are not instantly incorporated into the deployed model. An easy analogy: imagine teaching a classroom. The teacher gives thousands of lessons over many years. Students ask questions every day. The teacher notices which explanations confuse students and which examples work best. The teacher then rewrites next year's curriculum based on those experiences. The current students didn't directly change the teacher's brain during class. Instead, their feedback helped improve future lessons. Modern AI development works in much the same way. In summary A, large language model learns patterns from vast amounts of text during training. It uses those learned patterns to generate responses rather than retrieving memorized answers from a giant database. Conversations with users generally do not instantly become part of the model's permanent knowledge. Instead, user interactions may be used subject to the provider's policies and user settings to evaluate performance and improve future versions of the AI. The result is a system that continually evolves over time, while each deployed model remains fixed until it is updated or retrained.